Okay, so this is my wax melting rig. So we've got here is a normal old pot, then a can with a couple of holes in it. I'd need to make more holes for bigger holes, and then that goes in there. That's just a normal old can that I just squashed to make a pouring lip, and just pushed a couple of holes to make this pouring handle. Okay, the reason I've got this can is because when I boil it like this, it tends to fall over, and the boiling water that's jumping and bubbling goes in the wax, and it just irritates me. So I put that like that, and then the water will just go into both outer tins, pots. Okay, and then I find it better to heat slow, on a very slow, low heat. Somebody who's a bit better at candles tells me you need to pour the wax when it's at 65 degrees Celsius. I don't have a thermometer like that, but so I heat it slowly so it's not at super boiling temperature and bubbling and carrying on, because the higher the heat, it makes that pooling when it cools inconsistently. It makes that little vortex in your candle. That's from too high of a heat, I believe. Okay, so that's my melting rig. Okay, so this is version 1 of my candle making attempts. Everything I use for making my candles is totally recycled, reclaimed. I don't have money to go on the internet and buy all fancy wick holders and I don't know, molds and all of that. It's totally recycled, reclaimed, totally free from home. Anyway, this is a pre-assembled one to show you one of my first ones. Okay, so this green cap is the base. I've put a string all the way through. I'll show you the other end now. Then at this base, just put a bit of press stick. There's a hole through there made with a toothpick or an awl. It's a standard copper tube. It's a lid just from a Coke bottle. I hope you can see. Sorry for the unprofessional photography. Okay, this is just a toothpick that I've tied the string around. Yeah, it's tricky to get it taut. Anyway, okay, so there you go. So the string goes all the way through the cap into the the press stick's just holding it to the bottom. It's a bit loose. It doesn't matter. Wax will go into there, but it's easy to break it off. Just got to make sure the string is going kind of down the center. So this is version 1. I'll pour some wax into it now, and show you how it goes. It works okay. It actually works fine. It's tricky and finicky to assemble each time, but I'll show you now how it works. Okay, so this continues my version 1 candle. Let's put some wax in. You can see, I don't know if you can see, it's leaking up the bottom a fair bit. So yeah, the copper pipe, although it's an okay kind of mold for the candle and you can get it out and all of that, it's not quite working. It sort of works, but not exactly. So I've got an idea for a version 3, but I'll show you what happens when this one dries. Okay, so my version 1 candle has dried. As you can see, it messed everywhere. It really didn't work nicely. But why is it stuck? Okay. But yeah, it still formed a nice little candle. But as you can see, it was a real mess. So look forward to version 3 later in this video. Hopefully it's better. Okay, so these are the elements for version 2 of my candle making process. Toothpick, press stick, normal old string, standard copper tube, and a candle holder. This is a pull tab from a drinks can. So I'll pre-assemble it now, and then I'll show you how I've done everything. Okay, so I've pre-assembled this thing. This is even more tricky than the previous one. So that drinks cap I've cut in half, tied the string around, a little bit of press stick to stick it in the bottom of that. On this side is the toothpick with the string on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to put this part in here. I'll show you now because it's also a mission. So let me just push pause and I'll show you now. Okay, so I've put that drinks tab down there with the press stick. And then just using this is a chopstick just to get that press stick stuck on the base. Just to make sure that is taut and or a vertical, that string. You can see it doesn't sit nicely. What I did before, I used some press stick and just put it over there just to keep that up. Okay, so I'll pour some wax in that one and I'll show you when it sets. Okay, so I've got some melted wax. Excuse the lighting. I know. Just pour that in there. Then I'll let it cool and I'll show you the vortex it makes from inconsistent cooling. It's not really a biggie. You just got to fill that up, but I'll show you anyway. Okay, as you can see, it's leaked all out here because this doesn't make a good seal with the base. So it's actually not such this copper pipe in the thing in the base is actually not the best idea. Fill that up a bit. I'll show you just now when it dries what happens there. Okay, so this is version 2 that's now finished. So let me show you how the results come out. Yeah, and there you go. It's a pretty good candle. I'm sure it'll work. But as you saw in the beginning, it's very pernickety to put together. So I've got an idea for version 3 that I'll try to show you. Well, I will show you next. Okay, welcome to version 3. So with this one, I've used plastic drinks bottle lids with a cut toothpick going through it, just a normal old toothpick, and that's normal old string. And then I used wax to secure the toothpick to the string. You can see in the earlier ones I used too much wax, which would interfere with the pipes I'll show you now. So I refined it a bit, and then that one's looking pretty good. Okay, so and then I made these little cutouts of ice cream sticks where I literally just took a blade and cut out like a little notch, which will end up like that. And there's the drinks lid on the bottom. These are normal PVC pipes, nothing special about it, normal PVC from the hardware. Okay, so let me show you how, well, it's not very hard, how I got the toothpick in the lid. You put that there. Okay, this is a darning needle, I think. So you just make a hole in the lid. You can use a drill. Can't really use a toothpick, the lid's too strong. Okay, so then this is a candle I made. See, it's got that vortex in it. But I'm not selling it, so it burns pretty fine for myself. I'm happy with it. So I just want to secure that a little. So as you can see, it would actually be better to use a drill because now this hole's not working nicely. Okay, anyway, you can see the gist of what I'm trying to do here. So I won't torture you with sitting through getting that on. Okay, I managed to get that in. A little bit of wax to secure it more. Excuse the unprofessional lighting. Okay, then I'll just take my normal PVC pipe. Thread that through. And it fits really nicely on the inner ridge of the lid. Actually fits perfectly. Okay, then on the top here, I'm going to use one of these things I made, I showed you before. Just to hold the wax, to hold the wick vertical. Okay, so then I'm going to heat wax, melt wax, and pour it in. Okay, I've melted my wax. Let me fill these. Okay, I only melted enough for 3. But let's see how those go. Okay, so they've dried now. Let's see. It comes off here. So yeah, there you go. I think that's worked nicely. So let me know what you think. Let me know if it's worked for you.